You have been walking through fire, but you don't even realize you are made of flames. You mistake the heat for destruction, the burn for ruin, the embers for endings. But what if the fire was never meant to consume you? What if it was meant to awaken something buried deep inside? The part of you that refuses to be reduced to ash. You have spent too long believing you are fragile, too long shrinking under the weight of a world that told you to bow before it. But listen to me. This is not the end of your story. This is the beginning of your reign. I know what they told you. They said the chaos in your life was proof that you were failing, that you were lost, that you were weak. They convinced you that your struggle was a sign you were falling apart. But what if they were wrong? What if the storm was never meant to drown you, but to cleanse you? What if the very wreckage you've been fighting through is the foundation of something greater? You were never meant to live quietly, never meant to break under their expectations. The world has been trying to mold you into something small, something safe, something silent. But that was never your destiny. You have been carrying lies for too long, lies about who you are, what you deserve, and what you are capable of. They told you that you had to fit into a box, that you had to follow the rules, that you had to stay within the lines drawn for you by people who never had your best interests at heart. They convinced you that your worth was conditional, that you had to earn the right to be seen, to be loved, to be respected. But none of that was ever true. You were never meant to be contained. You were never meant to be anything less than unstoppable. Every time you doubted yourself, it wasn't because you lacked power. It was because someone else was afraid of what you might become if you realized it. Every time you hesitated, it wasn't because you weren't capable. It was because you had been trained to believe that playing small was the only way to survive. They planted those doubts in you because they knew what you could be. They saw it before you did, and they were terrified. Because people like you, people who have walked through the fire and refused to burn, people like you cannot be controlled. Think about it. The ones who underestimated you, the ones who doubted you, the ones who dismissed you, they were never afraid that you would fail. They were afraid that you would rise. They were afraid that you would wake up one day and see yourself for who you truly are. And that day has come, because the truth is you were never broken. You were never lost. You were never weak. You were always a force. You were always more powerful than they wanted you to believe. They were powerful in what they once were, and now you're beginning to see it. You have spent years waiting for someone to tell you that you're good enough, waiting for permission to step into your own power, waiting for the right moment, the right circumstances, the right sign. But there is no perfect moment. There is only now. And right now, you have a choice. You can keep believing the story they handed you, or you can rewrite it. You can keep shrinking, keep doubting, keep second-guessing yourself, or you can step forward and claim what has always been yours. Do you feel it? That pull in your chest, that fire in your bones, that whisper in your soul? That is your power calling you home. That is the part of you that has always known you were meant for more. It doesn't matter how long you've been lost. It doesn't matter how many times you've fallen. It doesn't matter who tried to convince you that you weren't enough. None of that changes the truth. You are here, and you are ready. This is not just another speech. This is not just another moment of inspiration that will fade by morning. This is the moment everything changes. Because I am not speaking to the version of you that doubts, the version of you that hesitates, the version of you that still believes in the lies they told you. I am speaking to the warrior inside you, the ruler, the unbreakable force that has been waiting for its chance to rise. For too long, you have been fighting battles you were never meant to fight. You have been trying to prove yourself to people who will never see your worth. You have been chasing validation from those who benefit from your doubt. But that ends today. You do not need their approval. You do not need their permission. You do not need their validation. You are enough. You always were. And now you are finally ready to claim it. So stand up, lift your head, take a deep breath, feel the fire in your veins, the power in your soul, the crown that has always been waiting for you. You do not belong to the pain of your past. You do not belong to the expectations of those who tried to keep you small. You belong to yourself. And today, you step into the throne that has always been yours. This is your moment. This is your turning point. This is the day you turn their chaos into your crown. You wake up every day carrying a mountain on your shoulders, but no one sees it. The weight is there, pressing down, making every breath feel like a battle, every step feel like a war. You move through the world as if everything is fine, but inside you are screaming. Inside you are exhausted. And the cruelest part, no one notices. They see what they want to see. The surface, the mask, the version of you that functions just enough to keep them comfortable. But they don't see the nights where sleep won't come because your mind is a battlefield. They don't hear the whispers that claw at your soul, the voices that tell you you're not enough, that you'll never be enough, that no matter how hard you fight, you will always fall short. And maybe, deep down, you've started to believe them. Maybe you've started to wonder if they're right. Because how much more can one person take? How much longer can you keep pretending you're okay? How many more times can you drag yourself forward when every part of you just wants to stop? They don't see it. They don't know what it feels like to carry doubt like a second skin, to be haunted by every mistake, every failure, every misstep. They don't understand the exhaustion of trying so hard and feeling like it's never enough. And maybe the worst part is the silence. How you've learned to keep it all inside because you've convinced yourself that no one would understand, that if you let them in, they would see the mess, the chaos, the brokenness, and they would turn away. So you carry it alone. You smile when you need to. You say the right words. You do what's expected. And all the while, you are suffocating under the weight of a world that refuses to see your struggle. But I see it. I see you. And I need you to hear me when I say, you are not weak. You are not broken. You are not alone. There is a war happening inside you, a war between the person you were told to be and the person you were meant to be. And that war is loud. It is relentless. It is a constant pull, a constant push, a constant voice whispering in the back of your mind, give up, you're tired, it's easier to stay down. Why fight when you keep losing? Doubt, fear, past failures. These are the voices that live inside you, the demons that refuse to let go. And they are persistent, aren't they? They know exactly when to strike. When you're tired, when you're vulnerable, when you feel like you've given everything and it still wasn't enough. They dig their claws into your chest, wrap themselves around your heart, and tighten their grip until you start to wonder if they are right. You can hear them now, can't you? The voices that echo in your mind, the ones that replay every mistake, every time you weren't chosen, every time you were left behind. They whisper your worst fears as if they are facts. You are not enough. You will never be enough. You should just stop trying. But listen to me. Those voices are liars. They have always been liars. They thrive on your hesitation, on your moments of weakness, on your willingness to believe that their words hold truth. They tell you that your past defines you, that your failures are proof of your limits, that the pain you've endured means you are too damaged to rise. But what if they're wrong? What if every scar, every wound, every moment of doubt was never meant to break you, but to prepare you? What if the weight you carry is not meant to bury you, but to make you stronger? What if the war inside you is not a curse, but a call to something greater? Because here is the truth. The only reason those voices are so loud is because they know what you are capable of. They see your power, even when you don't. They see your potential, even when you doubt it. And they know that the second you stop listening to them, the second you realize that their words hold no weight, you will become unstoppable. So you have a choice. You can let them win. You can let them keep you small, keep you afraid, keep you trapped in a cycle of doubt and hesitation. Or you can fight. I know what you're thinking. But I'm tired. I've been fighting my whole life. I don't know if I have anything left in me. And I get it. I do. But hear me. You are not at the end of your strength. You are standing at the edge of your breakthrough. Because the thing about battles is that they are hardest right before victory. The moment before you rise is the moment the weight feels the heaviest. The moment before you shatter every limitation is the moment you feel like you can't take another step. And if this is that moment, this is where you decide if you will let the pain swallow you whole or if you will take it and turn it into fire. You are tired, but you are not done. You are bruised, but you are not broken. You are afraid, but you are not weak. They told you that the chaos in your life meant you were losing. But what if the chaos was never a sign of destruction, but a sign of transformation? What if everything that has tried to break you was actually molding you into something greater? What if right now, in this very moment, you are not falling apart, you are being rebuilt? Look at everything you've survived. Look at everything you've walked through, everything you've endured. Do you really think you came this far just to stop now? No, that is not your story. That is not your ending. You have been waiting for a sign, for a moment, for proof that you are meant for more. This is it. This is the moment where you choose to rise. Yes, the battle inside you is real. Yes, the weight you carry is heavy. Yes, the voices in your mind have tried to convince you that you are not enough. But the fact that you are still here, still breathing, still standing, that is your proof. That is your power. That is your crown. So tell me, what will you do with it? Because the world has tried to break you, but it did not succeed. The voices have tried to silence you, but you are still here. The weight has tried to crush you, but you are still standing. And now, you have a choice. You can surrender to the doubt, to the fear, to the exhaustion. You can let them win, or you can take everything they threw at you, every ounce of pain, every whispered lie, every moment of struggle, and you can forge it into something unbreakable. You can take their chaos and turn it into your crown. And when you do, when you finally see yourself for who you truly are, nothing, and I mean nothing, will be able to stop you. Not them, not the past, not the doubt, not even yourself. This is the battle, this is the choice, and I know what you're going to do. Because you have come too far, fought too hard, endured too much to let this be the end. This is just the beginning. This is where you rise, and this is where you take back everything they said you couldn't have. You looked in the mirror and saw a ghost of yourself staring back. Hollow eyes, a weary soul, a body that moves through life as if it is dragging chains behind it. There was a time when you had dreams, when you had fire, when the world felt like it held endless possibilities. But somewhere along the way, that fire dimmed. Somewhere along the way, you stopped believing. Not because you wanted to, but because life beat it out of you. One disappointment at a time, one failure at a time, one betrayal at a time. You wake up, and the weight is already there before your feet even touch the ground. That feeling in your chest, the one that makes breathing feel heavy, the one that whispers, "What's the point?" It has become your constant companion. You go through the motions, play the part, smile when necessary, but inside, you are exhausted. And not just tired, the kind of exhaustion that sleep doesn't fix, the kind of exhaustion that lives in your bones, in your soul. You try to convince yourself that maybe tomorrow will be different, maybe things will get better. But deep down, there's a voice that says, no, this is it. This is your life now. No, and you hate that voice, but you're afraid it might be right. Because how long can a person keep fighting when every battle ends the same? How many times can you pick yourself up when the ground beneath you never stops shaking? You remember who you used to be, the person who had hope, who had plans, who believed in something more. And now you're just trying to survive. You have become someone you don't recognize, someone you don't even like. You used to have a fire in you, but now you just feel cold. You used to dream, but now you just try to make it through the day. And the worst part? No one sees it. No one sees how close you are to giving up. You laugh, you show up, you pretend. And maybe part of you wants someone to notice. Maybe part of you is screaming for someone to ask if you're okay. But they don't. Or if they do, you lie. Because how do you explain the kind of pain that doesn't have words? How do you make someone understand what it feels like to be drowning when they've never felt the water closing in? So you sit with it. You carry it alone. And maybe, just maybe, you start to believe that this is all life will ever be. That is the illusion of no way out. That is the lie that keeps you trapped. Because it does feel endless, doesn't it? Like a cycle that repeats itself, no matter how hard you try to escape. Like a story that has already been written and you are just playing your part. You tell yourself, this is just how it is. Some people were meant for more and some people weren't. And without realizing it, you have put yourself in the second category. Without realizing it, you have accepted that this is all there is. It's cruel, isn't it? The way pain convinces you that you belong to it. The way struggle makes a home inside you and tells you that you will never leave. The way failure whispers that it is not just something you have experienced, it is who you are. But let me tell you something. Let me say the words that your mind has been too clouded to see. That is a lie. Because I need you to understand something right here, right now. The only reason it feels like nothing will change is because you have convinced yourself that it won't. The only reason it feels like you are trapped is because you have spent so long believing you are. And if you do nothing else, if you take nothing else from this moment, I need you to hear me when I say this. You are not stuck. You are not doomed. You are not powerless. But I am going to tell you something you might not want to hear. Something that will hurt. Something that will feel unfair, but it is the truth. No one is coming to save you. No one is going to reach into your life and pull you out of the darkness. No one is going to give you permission to rise. No one is going to hand you the life you dream of on a silver platter. And I know that's not what you want to hear. I know you want to believe that someone, somewhere will see your struggle and pull you out of it. But the harsh truth is that waiting for someone to save you is the surest way to stay exactly where you are. Because the only person who can change your story is you. The only person who can break the cycle is you. The only person who can take all of this pain, all of this struggle, all of this darkness, and turn it into something powerful is you. You are waiting for a hero. But what if you are the hero you've been waiting for? What if everything you need is already inside you, but you've been too busy looking outside yourself to see it? What if the power, the strength, the fire, what if it was never something you had to find, but something you had to uncover? You have been buried under years of doubt, buried under the weight of everything they told you that you weren't, buried under failure, under rejection, under fear. But buried does not mean dead. It means you are still here. And if you are still here, that means you still have a choice. You can keep waiting. You can keep hoping that something will change while doing nothing to change it. You can keep believing that you are stuck, that you are lost, that this is all there will ever be. Or you can decide, right now, that you are done letting this pain own you. You can decide that you are not your failures, that you are not your mistakes, that you are not the person they tried to convince you that you were. You can decide that your story is not over. Because here's the truth. The pain that almost broke you, that is your fuel. The failures that haunt you, they are your teachers. The struggles that tried to destroy you, they are the fire that will forge your crown. So tell me, are you ready to stop waiting? Are you ready to stop believing the lies that have kept you small? Are you ready to take back the power that has always belonged to you? Because you can. Right here, right now. It will not be easy. It will not happen overnight. But it will happen the moment you decide that you are worthy of more. And you are. You always were. So the question is not whether you have the power to rise. The question is whether you are ready to finally see it. Because the second you do, everything changes. What if your wounds weren't signs of defeat, but proof of survival? What if every scar, every crack, every shattered piece of you was not evidence that you were broken, but that you endured, that you made it through, that despite everything that tried to tear you down, you are still here? You have spent so much time looking at your pain as something shameful, something to hide, something that makes you less. But what if you have been seeing it all wrong? What if the very things that make you doubt yourself are the things that make you unstoppable? What if your past is not a weight that holds you down, but the very force that will push you forward? Look at everything you have survived. Look at everything that has tried to break you. The betrayals, the failures, the disappointments, the nights when you thought you would never get back up. And yet, you did. Maybe not gracefully, maybe not easily. Maybe you crawled, maybe you bled, maybe you dragged yourself forward when every part of you was screaming to stop. But the fact remains, you are here. And that means one thing. You were never weak. Because weak people don't survive what you have survived. Weak people don't carry wounds and keep walking. Weak people don't take pain and turn it into fire. Weak people don't stand in the ruins of everything they lost and dare to start again. But you do. So tell me, why do you still doubt yourself? Why do you still listen to the voice in your head that tells you that you are not enough? Why do you let the ghosts of your pasts convince you that you will never be more than what you were? Because that voice, it is a liar. And now it is time for war. You have spent too long letting your doubt dictate your story. Too long letting fear decide what you are capable of. Too long letting your past define your future, but not anymore. Because the moment you decide that you will no longer bow to your own self-doubt, the moment you declare war on it, everything changes. Doubt tells you that you will fail, but you have failed before, and you are still here. Doubt tells you that you are not strong enough, but strength is not about how much you carry. It is about how many times you rise. Doubt tells you that you are not worthy, but who decides worth? Who holds the power to determine your value? You do. So say it with me now, out loud. I am done doubting myself. I am done apologizing for my fire. I am done playing small. Because the truth is, you were never meant to live a life of hesitation. You were never meant to spend your days second-guessing your power. You were never meant to walk through life carrying the weight of other people's expectations and fears. You were meant to rise, and rise you will. But first, you take the first step, because power is not something that simply arrives one day. Strength is not something that appears out of nowhere. They are built, they are claimed, they are chosen. And today, you choose. You choose to stop waiting for the perfect moment, because the perfect moment does not exist. You choose to stop waiting for someone else to tell you that you are ready, because no one will ever give you that permission. You must take it. You choose to stop seeing yourself as a victim of your past and start seeing yourself as the architect of your future. And the first step? It is small. It is quiet. It is something no one else may even notice, but it is the most important step you will ever take. Because when you take that first step, you prove to yourself that you are capable of more. So tell me, what is that step for you? Maybe it is finally speaking up, finally saying what has been buried inside you for too long. Maybe it is walking away from the people who drain you, from the habits that keep you stuck, from the environments that keep you small. Maybe it is believing, truly, for the first time, that you are worthy of something greater. Because once you take that step, you will take another, and another, and another. And suddenly the person you thought you were, the one who was too broken, too lost, too uncertain, becomes the person who refuses to be anything less than unstoppable. So, here you are, standing on the edge of everything you have ever wanted. And there is only one question left. Are you ready to take the step? Because the moment you do, you will never be the same again. You are not the storm that tried to break you. You are the lightning that refused to be tamed. For too long, you have believed that you were merely a product of your pain, shaped by the hands of circumstances beyond your control. You have told yourself that your past defines you, that your struggles have stolen something from you, that the weight of everything you have endured has left you weaker, smaller, less. But hear me now. That is a lie. You are not just what has happened to you. You are not just the sum of your worst days. You are who you choose to become despite them. Your story does not belong to the people who try to silence you. It does not belong to the voices that told you that you were not enough. It does not belong to the pain that tried to convince you that you were nothing more than your suffering. Your story belongs to you, and it is time to take it back. You have been carrying the weight of your past like an anchor, believing it is something that holds you down, that drags you under, that keeps you from moving forward. But what if, instead of an anchor, it was a foundation? What if every moment of pain, every ounce of struggle, every time you thought you wouldn't survive, what if those were the bricks that would build the person you are meant to be? Because strength is not found in an easy life. Strength is not born from comfort. Strength is forged in fire. And you, my friend, have walked through flames and come out the other side. Look at your scars. Look at them. Every single one tells a story of survival, of resilience, of a moment where you could have given up, but you didn't. A story of a battle that should have taken you down, but somehow you are still standing. Your scars are not weaknesses. Your scars are proof. Proof that you have lived. Proof that you have endured. Proof that no matter how hard the world tried to break you, it failed. And that is power. That is something no one can take from you. That is something no one can diminish. Because once you realize the strength in your scars, once you understand that your past is not something to be ashamed of, but something to stand upon, you become unstoppable. The pain you have felt, the struggles you have endured, the battles you have fought, they were never meant to destroy you. They were meant to shape you. Every hardship taught you something. Every loss forced you to grow. Every moment of suffering carved into you a depth, a wisdom, a power that only those who have walked through darkness can understand. And now you have a choice. You can keep seeing your past as something that broke you, or you can recognize it for what it really is, the fire that forged you. Think about it. Every powerful person you admire, every leader, every warrior, every legend, they were not made through ease. They were made through trials, through struggle, through a refusal to surrender, no matter how hard the fight became. And so were you. Your obstacles, they are not roadblocks, they are stepping stones. Your failures, they are not signs of defeat, they are lessons. Your past, it is not a weight that drags you down. It is a crown that sits upon your head, proof of everything you have survived. So own it. Own your story, own your scars, own your power. Because the moment you do, the moment you stop wishing your past was different, the moment you stop seeing yourself as a victim and start seeing yourself as a warrior, everything changes. The pain that once held you back, it becomes the very thing that propels you forward. The struggles that once made you doubt yourself, they become the proof that you were always meant for more. And the chaos they tried to drown you in, that chaos becomes the throne upon which you rise. So tell me, are you ready to claim it? Because the past does not define you. The pain does not own you. The struggles do not control you. You do. And now, finally, it is time to rise. They tried to bury you, but they forgot you were a seed. They thought that if they pushed you down far enough, if they drowned you in doubt, if they piled enough weight onto your shoulders, you would stay there, that you would wither in the darkness, that you would surrender to the silence, that you would never rise again. But they didn't understand something fundamental about you. You were never meant to stay buried. You were never meant to be small. You were never meant to be contained by their expectations, their judgments, their fears, because inside you, there has always been fire. The kind of fire that does not fade. The kind of fire that burns brighter the more they try to extinguish it. For so long, you believed them. You believed the world when it told you that you were broken. You believed the voices in your head when they whispered that you were not enough. You believed the failures, the losses, the betrayals. They all became evidence that maybe, just maybe, the world was right about you. But now, in this moment, you see it. You see the truth that has been waiting for you beneath all the lies. You were never weak. You were never broken. You were becoming. Every fall, every failure, every moment of despair, it was not proof that you were losing. It was proof that you were growing. Because a seed in the dirt does not stay in the dirt. It does not apologize for needing the dark to grow roots. It does not beg for permission to reach toward the sun. It simply rises, and so will you. Right now, in this moment, you stand at the threshold of your transformation. You are no longer the person who waited for permission, who sought validation from the ones who never saw your worth. You are no longer the person who questioned their own power, because now you know who you are. And now, you make a choice. Not just a thought, not just a wish, not just another empty promise to yourself. A decision. The decision to rise. No more waiting, no more hesitating, no more allowing the past to dictate the future. Because the past, it is done. It has done its job. It has shaped you, tested you, strengthened you, but it does not own you. You do. And so you stand up, fully, completely, with no apologies, no hesitation, no fear. Because now, you are not fighting against yourself. You are fighting for yourself. This is your life. This is your story. And from this moment forward, you are the one writing it, because you are not the chaos they left behind. You are the kingdom you built from the wreckage. And that kingdom, it is yours. Not given, not borrowed, not something you have to beg for, something you own. Because the world does not get to define you. Your past does not get to define you. Your pain does not get to define you. You do. And this moment, this is where it all changes. This is where you become everything they never saw coming. This is where you stop surviving and start ruling, because you are not what they said you were. You are not what your pain tried to make you. You are not your failures, your losses, your scars. You are unstoppable. And now, finally, you are free. The same people who doubted you will watch you wear your crown. They will see you rise. They will see the fire in your eyes, the power in your stance, the unshakable certainty in your presence. And they will realize they never truly knew you at all. And because for so long, they mistook your silence for weakness. They mistook your struggle for failure. They mistook your moments of doubt as proof that you would never rise. But you were never weak. You were never failing. You were becoming. And now, you know who you are. There is no more seeking approval. No more waiting for validation. No more asking for permission to take up space, to be seen, to live boldly and unapologetically. Because the truth is, the world does not get to decide your worth. They never did. And now, you finally see it. You are walking in your power, no longer bound by the weight of their expectations, no longer shaped by their fears, no longer looking for their approval. You are free, and that freedom, it is unstoppable. Because the fire inside you, it cannot be extinguished. They tried. Oh, how they tried. They tried to make you doubt yourself. They tried to convince you that you were not enough. They tried to keep you small, to keep you afraid, to keep you chained to a version of yourself that was never meant to last. But here you are. Still standing, still fighting, still rising, and now there is no stopping you. Because this is not just a moment. This is not just a fleeting surge of strength. This is who you are now. A force, a fire, a revolution in human form. You are no longer waiting, no longer apologizing, no longer asking for permission to become everything you were always meant to be. Because the truth is, the world does not give power, it is claimed. And you have claimed it. So now you walk with certainty, with purpose, with a fire in your soul that nothing and no one can take from you. This is who you are. And this is just the beginning. Enough waiting, enough hesitating, enough telling yourself that you'll start tomorrow, that you'll take the first step when you feel ready, that you'll rise when the time is right. The time is now, not tomorrow. Not next week, not when you feel more confident, not when the circumstances are perfect, right now. Because if you don't move now, then when? If you don't decide today, what makes you think you will suddenly be stronger tomorrow? What makes you think hesitation will transform into certainty if you keep feeding it with more time? You already know what happens when you wait. You already know what happens when you delay your own power, when you keep telling yourself you're not ready, when you keep making excuses for why you can't start today. Nothing changes. But here's the truth you cannot ignore anymore. You are not waiting for the right moment. You are afraid of what will happen when you finally step into your power. Because stepping into your power means you will have no more excuses. It means you will have no one left to blame. It means you will have to show up for yourself every single day with no more illusions, no more waiting, no more playing small. And that kind of responsibility, it is terrifying, but do it anyway. Because power does not come from comfort. Strength is not born from ease. Growth does not happen while you are standing still. You must move. You must act. You must decide right now that you will no longer be a prisoner to your own hesitation. This is your life. This is your throne, and no one is coming to hand it to you. No one is coming to grant you permission. No one is coming to pull you into greatness. You must take it. So here is your roadmap forward. Here is what you do right now in this moment before hesitation creeps back in. 1. Decide who you are right now. Not who you were yesterday, not who the world expects you to be. Who you are, and do not make it conditional. Do not attach it to an achievement, to a title, to someone else's approval. Say it out loud. I am powerful. I am worthy. I am more than enough. I am stepping into my throne. Say it until you believe it. Say it until every cell in your body aligns with that truth. 2. Take one bold action today, not tomorrow, today. One action that proves to yourself that you are serious. One action that makes you uncomfortable. One action that demands courage. Make the phone call. Walk away from what drains you. Speak up in the room where you once stayed silent. Start the project. Set the boundary. Burn the bridge if it is keeping you from the fire inside you. Because one action leads to another, and another, and another. And before you know it, you are no longer becoming powerful. You are power. 3. Burn the exit route. There is no more going back. There is no more retreating into safety. You do not need a backup plan for your greatness. You do not need a safety net in case you fail, because failure, it is not even an option anymore. The only way forward is forward. Commit, fully, without hesitation. 4. Show up every single day, not just when you feel motivated, not just when it is easy, not just when things are going well, every single day. Because power is built in the moments when no one is watching. Power is built in the actions that feel insignificant. Power is built in the daily ruthless commitment to who you said you would be. You are no longer waiting for change. You are the change. And from this moment forward, there is no turning back. This is your throne. Take it.